What if I told you that the single most important signal of a man's health, his morning erection, can quietly disappear years before anyone calls it a medical problem? I've seen it happen again and again in my practice. Men in their 50s and 60s come to me whispering about fatigue, low drive, and a body that feels older than it should. They think it's just aging, but it's not. It's a warning sign. Here's the shocking truth. Losing that vitality is not inevitable. It's not about luck, and it's not about expensive drugs. In fact, some of my patients have reversed these symptoms within weeks by changing something so small, so ordinary. It almost sounds unbelievable what they add to their breakfast eggs. I know that sounds outrageous. Eggs, really. But I promise you, this isn't hype. The science is so strong that even urologists are recommending this before writing a single prescription. And when my patients follow it, they report morning energy, returning confidence, rebuilding, even their partners noticing the difference. Stay with me, because once you hear how this works, you'll realize you've had the raw material for testosterone strength and vitality sitting in your kitchen all along, and it takes less than 30 seconds to use it. When I look at the lab work of men in their 50s, one pattern jumps out again and again. Testosterone on the decline. And here's what most men don't realize. The very foundation of testosterone is cholesterol, a nutrient that for decades has been unfairly demonized. Without cholesterol, your body simply cannot produce testosterone. It's like trying to build a house without bricks. And where do we find this essential building block in its most natural, usable form? In whole eggs. Now, I know some of you have heard eggs are bad for the heart, but study after study has shown that moderate egg consumption doesn't raise heart disease risk the way people once thought. In fact, men who eat whole eggs regularly tend to have stronger testosterone levels than those who stick to egg whites or avoid eggs altogether. That's because eggs don't just bring cholesterol to the table, they also carry vitamin D3, a hormone precursor that countless men over 50 are deficient in, especially if they don't get daily sun. Add to this the complete protein in eggs rich in leucine, which acts almost like rocket fuel for muscle maintenance. And here's the loop. Most men don't connect. More muscle equals more testosterone. Less muscle equals less testosterone. It's a feedback cycle. Eggs keep that cycle alive by feeding your muscles and your hormones at the same time. On top of that, the zinc, selenium, and B vitamins in eggs work like a multivitamin custom built for male vitality. This is why I often tell my patients, before chasing exotic supplements or expensive prescriptions, start with the basics. Eggs are not just breakfast, they are your body's hormone toolbox in disguise. But there's a catch. With age, your body gets less efficient at turning these raw materials into active testosterone. That's where strategic additions come in, and the first one might surprise you. It's sharp, it's pungent, and when used correctly, it can unlock the full testosterone building potential of your morning eggs raw garlic. When I first tell my patients to add raw garlic to their morning eggs, they usually laugh or they grimace at the thought of the smell. But once I explain the science, the laughter quickly turns into curiosity. Garlic isn't just a seasoning, it's a biochemical switch. When you crush a fresh clove and let it sit for 10 minutes, a powerful compound called allicin is formed. And this little molecule has been shown in studies to boost testosterone production by up to 15 to 20%, while lowering cortisol, the stress hormone that works against your vitality. Think of it like this. Testosterone is the gas pedal. Cortisol is the brake. Most men over 50 are unknowingly pressing both at the same time. Garlic helps lift your foot off the brake, letting testosterone finally do its job. In animal studies, male rats fed garlic showed significant increases in testicular function, and human trials have echoed those findings. Men who consume raw garlic regularly tend to have stronger hormone profiles and better performance overall. And here's why. Garlic pairs so well with eggs. The sulfur compounds in garlic actually enhance your body's ability to absorb the nutrients in the eggs, almost like unlocking a door that was half closed. The protein and fat in eggs soften the punch of raw garlic, making it easier on the stomach and far more effective than eating it alone. I've watched patients who added this simple step report, more consistent morning energy, sharper focus at work, and yes, improvements in their intimate life that their partners notice too. Now I know what you're thinking. What about the smell? The truth is, timing and preparation matter. Eat it in the morning, let your body metabolize it throughout the day, and combine it with a little olive oil and lemon juice if the taste feels too strong. Suddenly, it's not just tolerable, it's enjoyable. And once men see the results, they stop worrying about garlic breath and start asking me what else they can add, because garlic is only the beginning. The next ingredient has been used for over 3,000 years, praised by ancient healers, and now proven by modern science to raise testosterone and improve male fertility. I'm talking about black seed oil, black. When garlic unlocks the door, black seed oil is like turning on the lights inside. For over 3,000 years, this dark peppery oil has been called the cure for everything except death by ancient healers. That sounds like folklore, but modern research has finally caught up and the results are nothing short of remarkable. In one study published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology, men who took black seed oil daily for 3 months saw their testosterone levels rise by more than 20%, along with dramatic improvements in sperm quality and libido. The magic lies in a compound called thymoquinone, which has 2 superpowers. It lowers inflammation in the testicles and improves insulin sensitivity. And here's why that matters. Chronic inflammation is like static in a radio. It disrupts your body's ability to send clear hormonal signals. Insulin resistance, on the other hand, is one of the silent killers of testosterone. Black seed oil calms both storms at once, creating the perfect environment for your body to produce hormones naturally again. When I recommend it to patients, I tell them to drizzle just 1 teaspoon over their cooked eggs. The taste is slightly bitter, a little peppery, but it blends surprisingly well with the richness of eggs. Some men even prefer to mix it with olive oil to soften the flavor, while others take it as a quick shot before breakfast. But there's one rule you can't ignore: quality matters. Always look for cold-pressed organic black seed oil stored in dark glass. This oil is sensitive to light and heat, and if you don't store it properly, you lose the very compounds that make it powerful. I've seen men who were skeptical at first become believers. After just a few weeks, more energy in the morning, better stamina at the gym, and yes, a noticeable return of intimacy at home. And just when you think eggs, garlic, and black seed oil already make a powerful trio, there's an ingredient so small you can hold it between 2 fingers. Yet it holds the key to one of the most overlooked minerals for male vitality: selenium. You'll find it concentrated in a single nut, and eating just 2 a day can change everything. Let's talk about Brazil nuts. When I tell men that just 2 nuts a day can change their hormone profile, they usually laugh and ask if I'm joking, but I'm not. Brazil nuts are one of nature's richest sources of selenium, a trace mineral that your testicles rely on to function. Without enough selenium, testosterone production falters, sperm quality drops, and energy declines. With it, the engine starts firing again. To put it in perspective, your testicles actually contain some of the highest concentrations of selenium in the human body. It's like fuel stored in a hidden reserve waiting to be used. And here's the astonishing part. studies show that men with optimal selenium levels have significantly higher testosterone and better fertility compared to men who are deficient. By just 2, Brazil nuts provide around 200 micrograms of selenium, the sweet spot for hormone health. More is not better here. Too much selenium can be toxic, which is why I always stress 2 nuts no more. When patients add this to their breakfast, the feedback is striking. Energy levels feel steadier, workouts feel stronger, and even mood improves. It's a tiny change with an outsized effect, and it pairs beautifully with eggs, garlic, and black seed oil. You can crush the nuts and sprinkle them over scrambled eggs, chop them and scatter on fried eggs, or simply eat them on the side. The nutty, earthy flavor blends in seamlessly. And here's the mini hook. As powerful as selenium is, it's not the only nutrient that men over 50 need to protect their testosterone. In other words, it keeps more of your testosterone where it belongs, working for you, not turning into estrogen. Now here's the twist. Your body doesn't absorb curcumin well on its own. That's where black pepper steps in. Black pepper contains piperine, which boosts curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. Together, they create a powerhouse duo for hormone protection. I've seen men in their 50s start adding just a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric and a generous grind of black pepper to their morning eggs, and within weeks they report feeling sharper, lighter, and more in control of their energy. In one study, turmeric supplementation boosted testosterone in male animals by over 250%, and while human results aren't that extreme, the benefits are still significant. Plus, the color bright golden yellow adds a sense of vitality to the meal itself. When patients ask me how to start, I suggest keeping it simple. Cook your eggs with turmeric and pepper, or prepare a small paste with turmeric, pepper, and a touch of coconut oil, then stir it in. The healthy fats in eggs and coconut oil help the body absorb curcumin even better. And here's the beauty. You're not just boosting testosterone, you're lowering inflammation across your whole body, protecting joints, brain, and heart in the process. But if the idea of golden eggs doesn't excite you, don't worry. The next addition brings sweetness, warmth, and another surprising testosterone boost. It's something men rarely think of as medicine, yet it's been protecting hormones for centuries. I'm talking about raw honey, combined with true Ceylon cinnamon. Sometimes the best medicine doesn't taste bitter, it tastes sweet. I remember one patient in his late 50s who told me, "Doctor, I thought honey was just sugar. How could that possibly help my testosterone?" And that's a fair question, but raw honey is not the same as the processed squeeze bottle honey most people buy. Raw honey is alive with enzymes, minerals, and compounds that directly protect male hormones. One of these is creatine, a flavonoid that blocks the conversion of testosterone into estrogen. It also contains boron, a trace mineral that frees up bound testosterone, making more available for your body to use. Now combine this with Ceylon cinnamon, the real cinnamon, not the cheap cassia variety found in most supermarkets, and you get something powerful. Cinnamon dramatically improves insulin sensitivity, which means your body uses sugar more efficiently, reduces inflammation, and helps maintain stable testosterone levels. Better insulin sensitivity also translates to better blood flow, sharper energy, and improved sexual function. I've had men tell me that this simple drizzle over their eggs not only boosted their vitality, but actually made the whole meal more enjoyable. The key is to use raw honey. Commercially processed honey is heated, and that heat destroys the very compounds that make it effective. I always recommend local raw honey because on top of its hormone benefits, it can even help reduce seasonal allergies. As for the cinnamon, always look for Ceylon on the label. It's lighter, sweeter, and far safer for daily use compared to cassia, which contains higher levels of coumarin that can stress the liver if consumed in large amounts. Here's how I suggest patients start. Once your eggs are cooked, drizzle a teaspoon of raw honey mixed with half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon on top. The sweet balances the bitter, and the warmth of cinnamon brings comfort. It's not just food. It feels like a ritual, one that tells your body, I'm giving you what you need to thrive. But here's the warning, don't try to throw everything into your eggs at once. That's where many people go wrong and give up too soon. The real secret is building step by step, letting your body adapt, and creating a routine you can actually stick to. And when men follow this approach week by week, the results become undeniable. Let me show you exactly how to build it up. One mistake I see all the time is men trying to do everything at once. They load their eggs with garlic, turmeric, nuts, oil, honey, all on day one, and then complain of stomach upset or simply give up. That's why I always tell my patients, slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. The real secret is building layer by layer, week by week, so your body adjusts naturally and you can stick with it long enough to see results. Here's the plan I recommend. In week 1, start simple 3 whole eggs and 2 cloves of garlic, crushed minced, and left to sit for 10 minutes before adding them in. Get used to the taste, pay attention to how your body feels, and give yourself a baseline. By week 2, add 2 Brazil nuts, crushed and sprinkled or eaten on the side. At this stage, most men start noticing more steady energy during the day. In week 3, drizzle in a teaspoon of black seed oil. That's when the changes often become undeniable: better workouts, stronger drive, and even partners noticing improvements. Week 4 is where you bring in turmeric and black pepper, either cooked with the eggs or mixed in as a paste. The golden color might look unusual at first, but the hormone protection it provides is worth it. Finally, by week 5, you can experiment with raw honey and Ceylon cinnamon for sweetness and variety. At this point, you've built the full protocol step by step without shocking your system. I've had men track their progress with a simple 1 to 10 daily rating system for energy, mood, and intimacy. And within 3 months, they often come back with numbers they hadn't seen in years. It's not magic, it's consistency. And once this becomes routine, the results don't just show up in lab numbers, they show up in the way you feel when you wake up each morning. But I know there's still one question on your mind. What about the garlic breath? After all, nobody wants to fix their hormones, only to drive people away with their smell. The good news is there are simple tricks to manage this, and some of them even bring bonus health benefits. The number one complaint I hear when men start this protocol isn't about the taste, it's about the smell. Garlic breath, and in some cases, even body odor. And let's be honest, nobody wants to improve their hormones at the cost of their social life. But here's the good news. With the right strategies, you can neutralize the odor and keep every benefit. Timing is everything. When you eat garlic early in the morning, your body has the entire day to metabolize those sulfur compounds. By evening, most of the smell has faded. Staying well hydrated also makes a big difference. Aim for at least half your body weight in ounces of water per day. I've had patients who doubled their water intake and noticed garlic odor cut almost in half. There are also natural odor fighters that come with bonus health perks. Fresh parsley or cilantro with your eggs not only freshens your breath, but also adds antioxidants. Chlorophyll supplements or even chlorophyll-infused mints are remarkably effective at neutralizing odor from the inside out. And a cup of green tea after breakfast, that's one of my favorites. The polyphenols in green tea bind sulfur compounds, reducing odor, while offering their own testosterone supporting benefits. I encourage men to set aside just 15 minutes on Sunday, peel garlic cloves and store them in an airtight container, pre-mix turmeric and black pepper in a shaker, and keep a small bag of Brazil nuts ready to go. That way, your morning routine takes seconds, not minutes. It removes friction, and friction is the enemy of consistency. For men who travel, I suggest building a travel kit. A small bottle of black seed oil, a zip bag of nuts, and turmeric capsules are easy to pack. Most hotels will happily prepare eggs to your specifications if you ask. And with your ingredients on hand, there's no excuse to fall off track. I've seen patients who travel every week for work still manage to follow this plan faithfully because they prepared for it. Tracking progress is another game changer. Some men jot down a quick 1 to 10 score each morning for energy, mood, and performance. Others schedule blood work before and 3 months into the protocol testosterone, free testosterone, and estradiol. Seeing those numbers rise is incredibly motivating, and in many cases, insurance will even cover the lab tests with the right diagnosis code. And remember, it's not about perfection, it's about finding your minimum effective dose. For some men, garlic and Brazil nuts alone are enough. For others, the full combination delivers the best results. There's no shame in tailoring it to what your body responds to. But of course, I know one question still lingers in the back of your mind. How much does all of this cost? Is it really worth it compared to medical treatments? The answer might surprise you, and once you hear it, you'll never look at this breakfast the same way again. Whenever I walk men through this protocol, the final question is almost always the same. Doctor, how much is this going to cost me? And I understand why they ask. Hormone therapy and prescription medications can drain hundreds of dollars every month, and many men assume natural approaches will be just as expensive. But here's the reality. This protocol costs about $3 to $4 a day. Garlic costs pennies. 2 Brazil nuts come in at roughly 50 cents. Black seed oil averages about $1 per serving. 3 eggs, around $1. Add in spices and honey, and you're still talking about less than the price of a cup of coffee. Now compare that with testosterone replacement therapy, which can run between $200 and $500 a month, not including doctor visits, blood work, and the risk of side effects like testicular shrinkage and dependency. Or think about erectile dysfunction medications, $30 to $60 per pill, with temporary results and no real impact on long-term hormone health. Yeah, the math speaks for itself. Food as medicine isn't just safer, it's dramatically more affordable. And beyond the money, there's the hidden cost of doing nothing, the cost of fatigue that robs you of your joy, the cost of low drive that strains your relationship, the cost of feeling like you're watching life happen instead of living it. That's the real expense most men don't calculate until it's too late. That's why I say this with confidence. Investing a few dollars and a few minutes each morning can return dividends in energy, intimacy, and vitality that no pill can match. But more important than the numbers is the mindset, seeing this not as a temporary fix, but as a sustainable lifestyle shift. And now that you've seen the science, the strategy, and the cost, the only thing left is the decision. Will you take control of your health or let time make the decision for you? In the conclusion, I'll give you the exact action plan to start tomorrow morning and the perspective that has helped my patients stay motivated for the long run. In the end, what matters is simple: your health, your energy, your confidence as a man. Everything I've shared with you today, eggs, garlic, Brazil nuts, black seed oil, turmeric, honey, and cinnamon, isn't complicated medicine. It's food turned into power. I've seen men in their 50s, 60s, even 70s reclaim their vitality with these exact steps, and you can too. Remember, Progress doesn't require perfection. Small daily actions create lasting change. You deserve to wake up with energy, strength, and the spark that makes life worth living. So if this video has given you value, save it so you can come back tomorrow morning and start your own routine. And don't forget, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss new doctor-backed insights on men's health and vitality. Most importantly, share your thoughts in the comments. Which of these steps will you try first? Your story might be the motivation another man desperately needs.